I'm Paul Clements, and I'm a senior member of the technical staff at the Software Engineering Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. And there I'm involved in projects in product line engineering and software architecture. The new release is a second edition of our book, Documenting Software Architectures. We very carefully aimed this book towards architecture practitioners. We think it gives a very down-to-earth treatment of how architectures ought to be created, ought to be captured, ought to be documented, and ought to be communicated. But having said that it's for practitioners, which it is, we also think that it works very well for people who are learning about the craft of architecture as well. People tell us that they've used the first edition in courses about architecture, and that pleases us to no end. I think this book is unique because, to my knowledge, I'm unaware of any other treatment of software architecture that concentrates on how you ought to capture an architecture so that other people can use it to do their jobs. There are a lot of books out there about various notations for architecture, UML, for example. We wrote our book to be notation independent. That is, notation takes a second-class role in our book. The architectural concepts that you want to capture, we very carefully gave a first-class citizen status. And so once we can agree on what we want to capture about an architecture, record what other people need about an architecture to do their jobs, then we can choose appropriate notations. And the book is certainly rich in notation. There are all kinds of examples, but I think what makes it unique is that we take an architecture-centric view towards writing it down. One of the most important things people should know about the book is that it is aimed for practitioners. If you create, build, use architectures for a living, this book, I think, will resonate with you. It speaks directly to you. We've tried very carefully to do that. Another thing I'd like people to know about this book is that we spent a great deal of effort making it readable. And towards that end, here's one thing that we did. You cannot open this book to any spot and find just 2 pages of uninterrupted text. Any page you open to, there's going to be a diagram, there's going to be a margin note, there's going to be a list of information, there's going to be a box, there's going to be a picture, there's going to be something. I have seen many books that are just pages and pages and pages of uninterrupted text, and that looks deadly to me, and we tried very carefully not to do that for this book. The third thing I think people should know about this book is that it's based on a pretty solid pedigree. The first edition of Documenting Software Architectures did amazingly well, and that gave us a feeling of fulfillment, that we were meeting the message, we were giving a message out that was meaningful to people. And so I think people can know and feel confident about the pedigree of this book. We've updated it in a number of ways to include some modern technologies, some more modern architectural styles. We say more about how to document rationale. We say more about how to document particular things like service-oriented architectures. And so it's a very, I think, strong update of a pretty strong original.